So Phonte had a post on IG where he's basically going off on ABB Records. We all know that was their first label. Dude named Benny B, who I actually have a story about. I'll tell you about. But he says we are asking our fans to not support ABB Records by purchasing the repress of the Minstrel Show or the listening. We have not seen $1 from the sale of either record ever. #LB Business. He also said, he goes on to say, stop running the listening on all platforms. Don't cop any vinyl. So they're really calling out, you know, Ben Nickelberry is his name. But he goes by Benny B.
And we talked about
that's a shyster name.
And we talked about this.
It is, ain't it?
We talked about this before it came on, but ABB is who they released the listening on. They released the Minstrel Show on Atlantic.
Atlantic, yeah.
So,
and it's unfortunate. Lone and I, we actually did have this conversation about, you know, they probably were able to recoup over time.
yeah, I'm sure ABB has made their money back on streams. They've had to.
But this,
No, because listening is not on streaming.
Oh,
it isn't. You're right. It starts with the Minstrel Show, doesn't it?
And they just put
He's right.
you know,
Get Back,
the Get Back
Left
Behind. Yeah.
Those just started to pop
They
up.
just put those
He's
maybe
right.
about 2 or 3 months ago.
You're right.
So at one point, the only thing on there was like, I think the Minstrel Show.
And maybe a couple of those early mixtapes.
Yeah.
like the 𝗀𝗘𝗙 Circuit or something.
Yeah, those are on there.
Did they put out the Get Back and Let Back? Were those Atlantic Records too?
They had Left Atlantic. Yeah,
No, I think,
if I'm not mistaken.
were those back with ABB? I'm not sure.
I'll look that up.
Yeah,
real
Google
quick.
that. Google that long. But my thing is with this is like when I saw this, I laughed not at their situation, but the fact that me and my homie Pete Sake and my boy Maine, we were talking to Benny B in college. My homie Pete Sake sent him some music. This is back when we had to take the CD and mail it off, right, and for it to get to him. And there was a point where Pete probably talked to him once a day for a whole week. You know, I talked to him on the phone as well. And even back then, he was like, Pete Sake was telling me, like, I don't got a good feeling about this dude. Like, he got our music, and then we'd hear from him, then he'd disappear. And we hear from him, then he'd disappear. And, like, all of the stuff that he was talking about, none of it came to fruition. So it kind of took me back to a crazy moment when I read this, because it doesn't surprise me at all.
What did he like do some foul shit with your music?
Well, what he did was he promised us certain things in terms from a placement standpoint, from a show standpoint, from you know, I'm gonna fly y'all out, all the typical stuff that you hear, and none of that stuff ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So he basically played us and sold us a dream. You know, so and
you guys were kind of similar to the Little Brother.
Same. It
was like one producer, two
MCs,
MCs type thing.
And I could see he was starting to. That might have been a wave he was trying to go towards. So
Get Back was actually on ABB Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Get Back and Left Back.
Left Back.
But as it relates to this though, I hope they get their bread. Like I'm not gonna stream it. Like I want them to get whatever they're owed, because you talking about two iconic hip hop albums with the listening and the Minstrel Show.
Right.
Is there a reason why Ninth is left out of that conversation?
Which one?
Yeah, he's
What's
not
going
tagged.
on? Like they didn't tag Ninth on any of this stuff.
Oh, really?
Because I seen when I popped up, I hit to see who I was tagged in it. So Pooh is tagged in like the record label when the guy that you're talking about.
Yep.
But he doesn't mention Ninth at all.
I mean, I know there's supposed to be. I don't want to you know, talk about
In their
people's
business.
relationships and stuff like that. But I do remember that even when they were talking about when they were doing their newest album, that the way that it was going, Ninth wasn't like on board with how they wanted to release it, and so they just didn't work with Ninth on the album.
right.
He started off in the fold though.
But I'm
Yeah,
saying,
but
he
they-
was
but they
on the Minstrel Show
supposed to-
and on the listening.
Yeah. So
But they're supposed to be cool, is what I was getting at. So I don't know if there's something weird there, or if maybe he had a different deal. I don't know why.
I don't know if
think-
I don't know if the relationship is quite back yet.
It may
I
not.
don't think so.
I feel like Pooh and Ninth's relationship got re-solidified with their new project. I don't know.
But maybe
Pooh.
maybe not him and Phonte just quite yet.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's grown man business. That's their own stuff. So I don't know. But Yeah, I didn't notice that. So that's an interesting
Yeah, he's not,
observation.
to Terry's point, he ain't tagging nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man, but I hope they get whatever they deserve, because first of all, they deserve it, and those are two phenomenal albums back to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, y'all remember when them came out?
It's a 𝗓𝗏 situation, kind of, it seems like. So ABB Records is repressing that vinyl. I'm going to put that streaming stuff up and try to scoop that money
Capitalize
up.
up.
I don't know how much money they made. I remember Phonte telling the story about
Advance,
the advance. I think it was for Atlantic Records.
50 G's.
It was like $50,000 because they bought a van,
Yep.
and the van cost like, I don't know what he said, like $48,000 or something. It was like their entire advance. That's what they went on tour with or something. It was 42. I don't know. Like they spent all their money on an advance, and that's what they toured with around the country until I think it got broken into or stolen or something. But crazy story. But yeah, it's interesting, I guess. Just as somebody like, you know, Little Brother's like one of my favorite groups ever.
Right.
Period. Like I came up on Little Brother.
True.
You know, Phonte is my favorite rapper. One of my favorite hip hop personalities.
Period.
So, you know, it's interesting to hear.
I'm gonna
stuff like
put y'all on the spot real quick. Which album is better out of the two that we're talking about?
Minstrel Show.
Yeah, I like
Minstrel
Minstrel
Show?
Show more.
I mean, the listening is incredible. It's raw. It's
You
where,
can tell it's
when,
raw.
and you got to understand. At the time it came out, I just felt like hip hop wasn't. They weren't making hip hop like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like they say, you know, they always say like Little Brother comes from where the little brothers of
But it
you know,
doesn't.
𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗓𝗏
Native
doesn't.
tongue.
Yeah.
Huh?
But it doesn't though.
What does it?
That's not actually. That was just the Phonte said he's like that was just a
Or was that something I just saw on the boards?
people. It just caught fire.
Oh,
okay.
That really wasn't true.
That never
It had me fooled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, that's what I saw. You know, because I was heavy on the OK Player boards at the time.
I
You
thought
know,
that idea was dope.
download little snippets and
Yeah.
getting remixes of stuff that people were doing. But I still think Minstrel Show,
Yeah.
like conceptually front to back,
Yeah.
I mean, they just nailed that.
Yeah, they did.
And it was
there's
it
not
was,
a skippable track on there.
and there was just something that
I think he
the
right.
public
on that.
wasn't ready for.
I remember hearing Speed.
Even the Percy Miracle song is fire.
yeah.
I remember my homie DeCarlo played Speed for me. And I was like, where these dudes from? He was like, North Carolina. I'm like, with this sound? He was like, yeah, they from North Carolina. I was like,
And he makes beats on Fruity Loops.
yeah. And I'm like,
Everybody kept bringing
Word?
that up.
so I remember hearing Speed and being like, these guys are, I might like this, you know. And as we went through the album, and I love the listing, but I'm with y'all, man. The Minstrel Show is classic.
The
man.
Minstrel Show is the first thing that I heard. But this was the internet. Like I bought a CD of the Minstrel Show, but
I did too.
all their other music I bootlegged. I mean, I probably still have it. actually.
Chitlin Circuit, all
Chitlin
that.
Circuit,
Yeah.
everything you can think of, all the B-sides. Like I saw Phonte share something the other day with a song called Step Back or Step Away with A-Tracks.
Mhm.
I got that. I've had that on digital since 2008. It was a vinyl only release. You know, like I've got like all their stuff. So
No,
I was a fanboy.
No, I remember because I once again, this is when I would go on the OK Player boards because there'd always be something somebody would talk about and be
Yeah.
like, inbox me. And, you know, I remember I didn't have the whole album, but I would just burn all the little brother stuff I had. Okay, we're burning this to a CD.
Just one CD. Yeah.
And just, you know, and I might have it on there with because it was when you could burn MP3s onto a CD.
Yep.
So you could have
I
like
still do that.
2 or 3 hours worth of music. Yeah. And so like
700 megabytes.
but then at a place in St. Louis, this is when I was driving back and forth from St. Louis to Carbondale, and I stopped at Vintage Vinyl in the U City Loop. And I remember they had a stack of the listening CDs, and it was only $7.99.
Oh, you hit a lick.
And if I'd have known what I know now, I'd have bought like all 5 copies instead of just one for myself.
Yeah. You hit a lick finding it at that price.
Oh yeah.
I think I drove.
Like you try to get it on Amazon now, you're not getting it for $7.99. You believe that?
I bought it right up the street from the spot that closed across from Paco's. Used to be a record store there.
Rockin' Billy's.
Yeah.
Billy's.
I drove from Anderson to come get it. I think the CD was $15.99.
Talking about which one? The listening?
Yeah, the Minstrel Show.
That's what I got the listening for $7.99.
I think I bought the Minstrel
Oh, I
Show
thought
from
you
Sam
did.
Goody.
Yeah, you should have copped all those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should
I
have
should have
copped
copped them all and left them sealed, but you didn't, you don't know at the
Yeah,
time.
you ain't thinking like that.
Yeah. But nah, man, shout out to Phonte, man, and Pooh. I hope they get their situation taken care of because that's whack. And you get
Man,
what
these
you owe.
people need to get hands laid on them, to be honest with you. I'm tired of all this
I know.
this just shady business practices going on and people acting like they can't be touched
Yeah.
because they're a lawyer up or whatnot.
And sometimes
Man, people need to
violence,
go on
huh?
here and put hands on these cats because
Whoop a little ass.
this is getting out of hand, man.
I feel
I
like
wouldn't be able to I mean, you messing with my money, you messing
I
with
still
how
care
I
about you.
eat, all of that, and it's like a game of cat and mouse to them.
Yeah.
Mess with my family.
So it's like you gonna press up my vinyl, sell it for
Yeah.
probably $35,
Easy.
Come on,
Easy.
man.
and not give me anything.
Nothing.
We might make a T-shirt to
Man,
go
look.
with it. It might be a sticker. It might be a whole bunch. Might be a bundle.
You might get a digital download. You know how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah. They gonna jazz it up because
But-
I mean, Little Brother has a following. Like they're gonna jazz it up.
But this is the thing. It almost doesn't matter. I saw this happen with Morris Day and the Time just recently because Rhino was it was like I think it's like the 35-year anniversary of their first album or 40th.
Yeah,
Can't remember. Numbers, time, relative. And but the thing is, Morris Day was like, I don't know anything about this. Nobody asked me about
yeah.
and here it is, my name, and this is and so basically everybody who played it was like, yeah, we don't support this.
Yeah.
And Rhino had to reach out to him and like kind of delay the release and say, we
I need my money.
We need an error. No, they were like, we made an error in this. And we're not going to put this out until we have the involvement of, because everybody who was in Morris Day and the Time is still alive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Run me my money.
Run me my money, man.
I mean, I guess these companies are so used to dealing with people who are either dead or cracked out or whatever.
Man.
That
Or idiots.
yeah, I mean,
these
but
cats.
Morris Day is still out here doing shows. He wrote
They
a book.
buried,
He's
man.
still,
What these snakes do? They bury themselves in contracts that make it okay for them to do things like that. That's why I'm saying they need to be touched. I'm tired of this. You're hiding jargon in these contracts to where you can do things like that and then can get away with it. So in turn, the artists have to be like, "Hey, y'all, don't buy it and don't stream it."
Yeah.
Because they can't just walk up on them and take all their product from them.
I mean, Dave Chappelle had to do the same.
Exactly. I'm tired of that, man.
He right on that. Somebody need. He right on that.
That's just foul practice.
You know, if you're not going to contact the people, if you're going to put out anniversary collections and special commemorative, and you're not even going to involve the people who are still alive and out here still working and playing those songs, that
ain't it, man.
100, maybe 150 nights a year. Come on,
that
man.
ain't it.
What part of the game is that?
I would rather the artist himself send me a burnt copy of the album signed.
I'll take that.
Versus
I'll take
buying this copy that's all pretty and stuff from somebody and they ain't even getting any money off of it.
Yeah,
that's just whack.
Look, if I got a CDR of the Minstrel show, but it was signed by Pooh, Phonte, and Ninth, I'd have more value in that than going out and buying, the ABB commemorative whatever.
You will see a framed blank CD is what you will see.
I got Phonte's last album signed.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure you join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. You can also catch playback of all of our shows on any podcast app and youtube.com/newoldheadsnetwork. And go to newoldheads.com/community to join our Discord.